General Hospital spoilers for Monday, March 10th reveal Nina and Drew are on the brink of an all-out war, each determined to come out on top in a battle where neither can afford to lose. The tension between them has been brewing for months, but now, it's reaching a breaking point. Their conflict isn't just about power or revenge anymore, it's about control, leverage, and the desperate fight for influence over the people they care about most. But as the stakes grow higher, an unexpected twist shakes up the battlefield. Nina is willing to compromise. For Nina, there is nothing more important than ensuring Willow's safety, stability, and future. She has fought for so long to be part of her daughter's life, and now, she is faced with a choice: continue fighting Drew head-on, risking everything, or find a way to negotiate a fragile peace, one that might come at a cost she isn't ready to pay. Drew, on the other hand, sees Nina as nothing more than an obstacle, a threat that needs to be neutralized. Their history is filled with betrayals, broken trust, and power struggles, but this time, it's not just about their personal vendettas, it's about Willow. The problem is, Drew is a man who thrives on dominance, and the idea of making a deal with Nina is something that does not sit well with him. He has spent too much time positioning himself as the one in control, the one pulling the strings, and now, Nina is offering something unexpected, a potential truce, a compromise that could change the course of their battle. But is it real? Or is it just another calculated move in a long game of deception? As their negotiations unfold, the power dynamics between them shift dangerously. Nina knows she cannot afford to lose, not when it comes to Willow. She is willing to make sacrifices, willing to bite her tongue, willing to put aside her pride, if it means protecting her daughter. But Drew isn't convinced. He knows Nina is capable of manipulation, of twisting situations to her advantage, and he refuses to be blindsided. Meanwhile, those around them are beginning to take notice. Carly, who has never trusted Nina, warns Drew not to fall for whatever scheme she's cooking up. Michael, caught between his loyalty to Drew and his growing understanding of Nina's role in Willow's life, struggles to see which side is truly right. And Willow, the very reason for this battle, is unknowingly at the center of a war that could determine the course of her future. The more Drew and Nina push each other, the more dangerous the situation becomes. This is no longer just a simple negotiation, it's a power struggle where neither is willing to back down completely. If they can reach a deal, it could bring stability to Willow's life. But if they fail, if this turns into yet another explosion of resentment and betrayal, then the damage could be irreparable. And worst of all, there are forces in the shadows, people watching, waiting, ready to take advantage of whatever weakness is exposed in this battle. Nina and Drew might be so focused on outmaneuvering each other that they don't see the real threat coming until it's too late. This is no longer just about winning or losing. This is about survival. And in Port Charles, survival always comes at a cost. Jason is preparing to leave Port Charles, but his departure is anything but simple. His exit is not just about stepping away, it's about eliminating a dangerous problem before he goes. The situation surrounding Charlotte has escalated into something far more dangerous than anyone anticipated. Whatever information she holds is not just a minor secret, it's something powerful, something that could shift the balance of everything. And now, Jason realizes that he has no choice but to act before it's too late. Charlotte has always been a wild card, but now, she has become a key player in a much larger game, one that Jason cannot afford to ignore. The information she possesses has the potential to bring down powerful figures, disrupt carefully laid plans, and put lives in danger. It's not just about protecting her anymore, it's about controlling what she knows, who she tells, and what consequences could come from it. If Jason leaves without handling this, he knows that chaos will follow. But the deeper Jason digs into the situation, the more complicated it becomes. He quickly realizes that he is not the only one who understands the value of what Charlotte knows. Others are already circling, waiting for their opportunity to take advantage of the situation. Valentine, desperate to protect his daughter, is watching Jason's every move. Anna, determined to keep things from spiraling out of control, is questioning whether Jason's methods are the right ones. And then there are the unseen forces, those working in the shadows, who may already have their own plans in motion. As Jason prepares for one final mission before his departure, the stakes continue to rise. The decision he makes now will not only determine what happens to Charlotte but could also change the course of everything happening in Port Charles. If he chooses to neutralize the threat swiftly, it could ensure stability, but at what cost? If he hesitates, if he underestimates what's at play, then he may be setting up an even greater disaster that will unfold long after he's gone. And then there's the question no one dares to ask: who really controls the information Charlotte has? Is she just a pawn, or is she more involved than anyone realizes? Jason has always been able to read people, to predict their moves before they make them. But this time, something feels different. The more he tries to lock down the situation, the more it slips through his fingers. As tensions reach a breaking point, Jason knows one thing for certain: before he leaves Port Charles, he must eliminate the threat once and for all. Whether that means silencing those who know too much, uncovering a larger conspiracy, or making an impossible choice that will change everything, one thing is clear: this is not a simple goodbye. This is the beginning of something far bigger. The battle for control is reaching its peak, and Jason is caught in the center of it. The question now is not just whether he will leave Port Charles, but whether he will be able to walk away unscathed. Because once he sets his final plan into motion, there may be no turning back. Lulu is determined to uncover the full truth behind Brook Lynn's motivations for giving birth to Gio, and she's no longer willing to accept vague answers or half-truths. For too long, Brook Lynn held on to a secret that directly affected Dante, and now that the truth is out, Lulu is on a mission to expose every detail of what happened. The tension between them, already strained by years of unresolved animosity, is now at its breaking point. But this isn't just about Joe's existence, it's about trust, deception, and the past that both women believed had been left behind. For Lulu, this revelation isn't just a shocking twist in Dante's life, it's personal. She spent years loving Dante, raising a family with him, and believing she knew everything about their history. But now, she's realizing that Brook Lynn had been hiding something monumental, something that could have changed the course of all their lives had the truth come out sooner. Why did Brook Lynn keep this from Dante? What was she afraid of? And more importantly, did she ever intend to tell him the truth? Lulu refuses to believe that Brook Lynn's silence was purely selfless. She's convinced there was another reason, something more calculated behind it. And she's going to find out what it is. Brook Lynn, for her part, is feeling the full force of Lulu's fury. She had expected backlash once the truth about Gio was revealed, but she wasn't prepared for Lulu to come at her with such relentless determination. She insists that giving Gio up was never about hurting Dante or keeping secrets, it was about doing what she thought was best for the child at the time. She wasn't trying to rewrite history or erase Dante from the equation, she was a scared teenager making an impossible choice. But no matter how much she tries to explain herself, Lulu refuses to let up. The fight between them quickly turns into something more than just a heated confrontation. It becomes an all-out battle, one filled with accusations, old wounds, and a level of emotional intensity that neither of them expected. Brook Lynn accuses Lulu of acting like she was the only person in Dante's life who ever mattered, of believing that her relationship with him was the only one of significance. Lulu fires back, demanding to know whether Brook Lynn would have ever told Dante the truth if circumstances hadn't forced her hand. As their argument escalates, their words become sharper, cutting deep into old resentments that have never truly healed. Brook Lynn reminds Lulu that she had moved on, that she was with Dustin before her accident, that Dante wasn't hers to claim anymore. Lulu, in turn, reminds Brook Lynn that keeping a child's existence a secret from their father is an unforgivable act, no matter the justification. The tension is raw, the emotions overwhelming, and neither of them is willing to back down. But what neither of them realizes is that their battle is no longer just about them. Their confrontation is setting off a chain reaction that will have lasting consequences. Dante, unaware of just how deep this conflict runs, is about to be pulled into the middle of a war between the two most powerful forces in his life, his past with Lulu and the complicated, unresolved history he shares with Brook Lynn. When he finally faces the full truth, it could change everything, not just for him, but for Gio as well. The question now isn't just whether Lulu and Brook Lynn can find common ground, it's whether this revelation will destroy everything in its path. Because the more they fight, the more they uncover, and soon, other people begin taking notice. Michael is caught in the middle, trying to support his cousin while also understanding the weight of what Lulu is feeling. Olivia, fiercely protective of Dante and his family, is struggling to process the idea that she has a grandson she never knew about. Even Ned, despite his own history with Brook Lynn's choices, is watching closely, knowing that if this war continues, it could tear their already fragile family apart. And then, of course, there's Gio. A child who never asked for this, who has been unknowingly placed at the center of a battle that has nothing to do with him. He doesn't yet understand the weight of what's happening, but soon, he will. And when that day comes, will Lulu and Brook Lynn have already done too much damage to ever repair what's been broken? Port Charles is no stranger to explosive family drama, but this is something different. This isn't just another argument, another fight between two people with a long history. This is a war, and the stakes are higher than ever. Neither woman is willing to lose, but as they continue to push each other further and further, they may soon realize that in this fight, there are no winners, only casualties. As the city watches, as alliances shift, as emotions reach their peak, one thing is clear, the truth about Gio has changed everything. And no matter what happens next, nothing will ever be the same again. Jordan and Isaiah are on the verge of crossing a line that neither of them may be able to come back from. What started as a slow-burning attraction, filled with stolen glances, heated exchanges, and a constant battle for control, is now turning into something far more dangerous, something neither of them can ignore any longer. Their chemistry is undeniable, a magnetic pull that has been drawing them closer with every interaction, and no matter how much they try to resist it, the inevitable is about to happen. Jordan, always disciplined and composed, is starting to lose the battle against her own desires. She has spent years keeping her emotions in check, prioritizing her duty and responsibilities over personal indulgences. But Isaiah is unlike anyone she has ever encountered. He doesn't just challenge her professionally, he challenges her personally, forcing her to confront the part of herself that she has long kept buried. There's a thrill in their dynamic, an intensity that excites her in ways she hasn't felt in a long time. He gets under her skin, tests her patience, and makes her feel alive in a way she wasn't expecting. Isaiah, on the other hand, is a man who knows exactly what he wants, and right now, he wants Jordan. He sees through her carefully constructed walls, recognizes the fire burning just beneath her surface, and he's determined to be the one who brings it to life. He isn't interested in playing games or pretending that what's happening between them is anything less than inevitable. He wants her, fully and completely, and he's not going to let her push him away out of fear or hesitation. Isaiah is powerful, confident, and used to getting what he desires. And when it comes to Jordan, he isn't backing down. But this isn't just about passion, it's about power. Both Jordan and Isaiah are strong-willed, dominant individuals who are used to being in control. Their connection is a battle of wills, a game of push and pull where neither of them is willing to be the first to break. But as much as they fight it, as much as they try to maintain their composure, their attraction is becoming impossible to ignore. The tension between them is crackling like electricity, ready to explode the moment one of them gives in. What makes this even more complicated is the world they live in. Their relationship isn't unfolding in a vacuum, there are stakes involved, risks that neither of them can afford to take lightly. There are people watching, enemies waiting to exploit any weakness they show. Jordan has spent her entire career maintaining her reputation, ensuring that no one can question her judgment or professionalism. Getting involved with Isaiah threatens all of that. And Isaiah, as confident as he is, knows that if their relationship is exposed, it could shift the balance of power in ways he isn't prepared for. But none of that seems to matter when they are alone, when the air between them is thick with unspoken desires, when the weight of their responsibilities fades into the background, leaving only the undeniable truth of what they want. The moment they finally give in will be nothing short of explosive, a night filled with passion, intensity, and a hunger that neither of them has ever experienced before. It won't be soft or hesitant, it will be raw, consuming, and utterly uncontrollable. The real question is, what happens after? Do they pretend it never happened, go back to their carefully curated roles and pretend that nothing has changed? Or does this ignite something deeper, something neither of them was prepared to feel? Jordan isn't the type to let emotions dictate her actions, and Isaiah isn't the kind of man to chase after something he can't control. But what if this connection is more than just an affair? What if, against all odds, they've found something real, something neither of them was expecting but now can't live without? The battle for dominance, the struggle for control, and the intoxicating mix of passion and power between them will set off a chain reaction that neither of them could have predicted. If they aren't careful, this could spiral into something far bigger than they ever intended, something that could change the course of their lives forever. Port Charles is about to witness a romance unlike any other, one built on fire, desire, and an unrelenting need to be the one in control. But in this game of seduction and power, who will have the upper hand? Or will they both end up falling harder than they ever expected? One thing is certain, once Jordan and Isaiah finally cross the line, there will be no going back.